Hi there, Perfecto de Castro here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about my current gig and fly amp, the Baroni Lab MiniAmp Custom 50. Yes, you heard me right. It's an amp. I first introduced you guys to the MiniAmp 50 in my mini pedal board video, which you can check out by clicking on the card on screen. And I also featured it in the latest rig rundown video shot in Saskatoon, Canada, which you can also check out by clicking the next card. I also brought that mini pedal board with me during my last trip to the Philippines, where I played a series of shows, and the MiniAmp delivered the goods despite having encountered challenging and different gear setups for each gig. Gigging in the Philippines is both easy and difficult. Easy in that most venues already provide a backline, including guitar amps, for the artists to use. And difficult in that it's hard to get a consistent guitar tone from venue to venue because the amps have varying usage conditions when you go from one place to the next. And with the MiniAmp 50, I'm able to do exactly that, ensuring that my guitar sound is consistent from one place to the next without having to lug around your typically sized guitar amp. Now I'm going to show you 3 different setups that I used the MiniAmp 50 in during that trip. First one is as a standalone guitar amplifier running into a speaker cabinet. Second setup is as a preamp. So we're running the send of the MiniAmp 50 into the effects return or a power amp input of another amplifier. And in the third setup, we're going to run the MiniAmp 50 direct to the board or PA using the onboard switchable cabinet simulation. Okay, here's my mini board or my fly board, and you can see the MiniAmp is right smack in the middle of it. Now, all the pedals in this side of the board, they go into the front of the amp. So the guitar goes into the wah, into the chorus, into the drive pedal, and into the input of the MiniAmp. Now, I take a cable, plug it into the effects send of the MiniAmp, and route the signal into my mini delay, then into the zoom, MSCDR for more effects. From there it goes into this loop pedal, and this board actually has a mini DI. Uses of it I'll discuss in a little bit. So from the looper it goes into the mini DI, and right now I take another cable and plug it into the unbalanced out and return the signal into the MiniAmp's effects return right here. Now I have to really stress this. Do not use a regular guitar cable plugged into the speaker out of the MiniAmp because it will damage the amp or it may damage the cab. Okay, you don't want that. And another thing I have to stress, if you're plugging a cable into the speaker output of the MiniAmp, do not plug the other end into the input of another guitar amp. Bad things will happen. So make sure that if you take a speaker cable, plug it into the speaker out of the MiniAmp, you plug the other end into a speaker cabinet. Okay, I'm plugging one end into the speaker out, the other end into a guitar cabinet. Okay, my guitar's plugged in. Here we go. Here is the clean sound. I am plugged into an extract isolation cabinet just for ease of recording, and you are hearing the recorded sound straight to computer. The extract is a little dark sounding, so we can actually tweak the sound to brighten it up if we want to. Now, unlike the other pedal amps that are available in the market, the MiniAmp has a 3-band EQ and it has 2 channels. It actually has a drive channel that is accessible through this foot switch right here. Very cool. It plays great with pedals. The drive channel also interacts nicely with any volume changes. So if you have a full tilt rock sound, you can easily roll down the input volume and it cleans up. And it takes a clean boost in the effects loop as well for those solo volume lifts if you want. The effects loop is very clean and high headroom, so whatever time-based effects you have in there will come across really nicely. The MiniAmp has a Class D power section, and it automatically adjusts the impedance depending on what cab you plug it into. The main difference between 4 ohm, 8 ohm, and 16 ohm cabs will be the overall power output. So to get full power, you need to use 4 ohms, and it just varies slightly as you go up in resistance. So At the 8 ohms, I think this is around 43, 45 watts. And at 16 ohms, this puts out around 38 to 40 watts. I did not bring my own speaker cab during the tour to the Philippines. And the venues there, the provided guitar amps are usually in combo form. That presented another dilemma. Should I rent a cab or should I get creative? So the solution I came up with is this. This is a female to female 1/4 inch jack adapter. Now it may be possible for you to be able to use just the speaker off the combo amp depending on the brand and the model. Check in the back, and if the speaker is connected to a 1/4 inch jack, you can just unplug that from the amp itself, plug it into this female jack adapter, and now you have something to plug the other end of your Baroni MiniAmp speaker cable into. And voila, you have an instant guitar cabinet. Next scenario, let's say you don't have your own speaker cab yet, but you do have the MiniAmp 50 mounted on your pedal board, and you get to the venue and whatever amps they have there, it does not let you use the onboard speakers. Now you got to check if those amps have their own effects loop, okay, effects send and return. And if it does, you're in luck. You can use your MiniAmp as a preamp pedal. You don't have to rewire your whole board to accommodate that scenario. What you just need to do is to trace the signal from the effects send of the MiniAmp loop, right? And go through your pedals and go to the last pedal of the chain. In my case, it is the looper. Take the output of that pedal, and instead of routing it back to the effects return of the MiniAmp, we are going to unplug that and plug another cable into that output, right? And the other end of that output will go into the effects return of the combo amp that you're going to use. Okay, now I have the pedal board plugged into this tiny little combo amp right behind me through its effects return. You're going to hear the guitar sound through my room mic, so it's not going to be ideal, but I'm pretty sure this gets the setup and the point across. Okay. So here's the MiniAmp clean. And here it is dirty. There you go. Now I'm down to the last scenario that I mentioned earlier in this video, which is using the MiniAmp straight into the PA with the help of the switchable cabinet simulator. The approach is similar to our second scenario, where we use the MiniAmp just as a preamp going into the power amp section of another guitar amp. So we're going to take the pedals in the effects loop, go to the very last pedal in the chain, take out the cable that routes it back into the return, and we're going to plug another cable in. And then the other end of this cable can go into a direct box of some sort. I wanted my mini board to be self-contained, which is why I also included a miniature DI just for the purpose of going direct to the board. So instead of taking the lead out of my last pedal and plugging into another DI, I can just request for an XLR lead, okay, and plug it straight to my board, and I'm ready to roll. Now my pedal board is patched directly into my audio interface, so let's check out some sounds. This is without the cab sim engaged. That's so gnarly. Okay, so I'm going to engage the cab sim now. That's more like it. I have to say that the Baroni Lab cab sim circuit on the MiniAmp is probably the best analog speaker simulation or cab simulation I've ever heard to date. Now, just for fun, let's do a comparison between the Baroni Lab cab sim and the cabinet simulator that's available on my Mini DI right here. Okay. So here's the drive channel. Okay, no simulation at all. Baroni Lab cab sim. Now, Mini DI cab sim. Baroni cab sim. Mini DI cab sim. Baroni cab sim again. Personally, I think the MiniAmp's cab sim sounds more like a mic speaker to me than the Mini DI's cab sim. Okay, but let me know what you think. Put them in the comments box below. The whole Baroni Lab MiniAmp series are now available in the Philippines through Music Gear distribution. They're also available with worldwide shipping from the official Baroni Lab Reverb store. Links are in the description box below, so check them out. Now I'm going to jam out on a loop, and while I'm doing so, please click on my head to subscribe, and please click on this box right here to go watch another video of mine on this channel. Okay, so I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.